So let me ask you girls, like what is your, I mean, for gratitude, I think it needs to be a ritual or a habit. You know, it needs to be a practice in our life. So, Jen, what's your gratitude practice?
You know, I often start with doing something that is more unwinding and healing first, so that I can release the tension, release my judgments and my beliefs, and then I have a clearer path into gratitude. Because for me, sometimes gratitude is not an instant thing.
Right.
I know for me, it's a little bit more fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So I usually do Ho'oponopono first. So every morning and every night before bed, I do about 10 minutes of Ho'oponopono, where I'm doing a prayer of self-forgiveness, essentially.
Right.
And then I get to really have tremendous perspective in that moment. Because to me, I do a spontaneous transformation version of Ho'oponopono,
Right.
where I have a conversation with these parts of myself that were hurt.
Right.
And so I get to just say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And I'm sorry to the part of you that was hurt, that created coping mechanisms that had to show up in the world to protect myself. And please forgive me for those who I hurt by expressing those coping mechanisms. And then I get to a point where I can actually then love myself, because I can have compassion for myself. And then I have gratitude. The last part of the Ho'oponopono prayer is gratitude, is thank you. So I get to thank that part of me for protecting me so I can survive. And then I move into, then I can move into a gratitude practice. And I do that every single morning, every single evening, without exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's very appropriate that we're here in Hawaii and you're talking about Ho'opono.
Yes, that's true. Ho'oponopono, yes.
Because it was created here, right?
It was. It's
by a psychologist, right?
Yes.
Was working in a like a psych ward.
He was working in a psych ward. His name is Dr. Hugh Len.
Yeah.
And he does self-identity Ho'oponopono, which is a modern version of it's actually an ancient Hawaiian kahuna prayer.
Right.
Of self-reflection, self-forgiveness.
And so what are the 4 things we say?
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you.
Excellent.
And and for those who are watching, please don't freak out about I'm sorry. It works. The energy of I'm sorry actually works. A lot of people say, I don't like I'm sorry. It's okay if you don't like it.
But when you're combining with the other ones, it's great.
It's powerful.
Yeah, yeah. So what about you, Christy?
You know, I think of, I know there's some people say, like, list all the things you're grateful for, and I like to go deep with one. So I'll take one thing, and then I'll think about the reasons why. Because when you start getting into the why of something, that really vibrates. I mean, it really starts the vibration, and of course, law of attraction, and it just raises your vibration. Because for me, it's like when you list things out, it's just a mental thing, but it doesn't drop you into your body and then the feeling. So when I can think of, you know, I love my husband, you know, it's like that's one thing, it's a thought, I love my husband, but then I think about he's such a wonderful dad, and then that's why I start to get, you know what I mean, it's like, and the way he sees me and supports me, and he's so open, and he's got this beautiful heart, and that brings up tears to me, because it's like now I'm feeling the gratitude. So that's always my
and
practice.
that changes the whole vibration, because you guys could even see it when Christy started with, you know, I love my husband, and then went into all the qualities. The whole vibration shifts.
Yeah.
It just shifts, and that vibration. I don't know if you've ever heard this from Natalie before, but what
Probably.
a million times. She's so good at this. And when your vibration shifts, of course, it creates this whole ripple in your entire universe.
Yeah.
And you create something different in your life as a result.
Well, I was just over there waiting for you guys to come, and I was in this moment, and you know, I talk about obviously having it all, and for me, it's not so much the things; it's a having it all moment. Like I look for having it all moments in my life, and I was sitting over there, I was looking at the ocean, and I just felt so full. Like nothing else could add to this moment, and just when I thought that, I'm like, nothing else can add to this. I'm just so grateful. All these birds started doing this amazing dance in front of me, and I was like, oh.
That's
And that's such a key to abundance, because when you're in that, I'm really so full in this moment. I don't need to do this, accomplish this, you know. It's like that's the key to abundance.
Yeah, you don't have to get anything or grasp anything. It's right now, I'm full. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you know, and both of you brought up a very important point. So whenever we do have a gratitude practice, it's not about going through the motions of writing the list and going, I'm grateful for this, grateful for that.
Right.
It's about how you feel. It's about getting into that vibrational alignment with gratitude, because it's one of those higher vibrational emotions. Now remember that if we're in a point of trying to manifest something or creating abundance or being in flow so that everything is easy, we have to be that vibrational match to that. So that then as we're, remember that resonance that we're putting out into the quantum field or out into the universe, then we're attracting.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Then we're attracting back things that are a vibrational match to that. So that's what we're really going for. So any kind of practice that we have, we want to make sure that it's something that it's not just going through the motions, that it's what we need to feel that. And I do have a gratitude journal, and I do write in it most days. And I also have a thing where in the morning when I'm taking Bella out for a walk, for her wee walk, I live in Marina Del Rey, so I'm walking along the water there, and I just drop into gratitude. And it's kind of, now it's like such a habit that normally when I'm walking her at other times, I'm also doing that, because it's like this routine that I'm in, which is really cool.
Yeah, I want to say this too, because we were just talking about this before you got here. I was noticing on Facebook that one of Natalie's friends literally just poured her heart out and put a little Facebook video together in such appreciation and gratitude for Natalie. And I was telling Natalie that everybody that knows her just feels that gratitude for the blessing of Natalie in their lives. And I know I feel that, and I can see one, and it's not just one person that posts this. I'm sure all of you that watch Natalie feel that gratitude. And it's like she vibrates out gratitude. She's in a constant state of gratitude. She's human, but most of the time she's in a state of gratitude. And what comes back to her is appreciation and gratitude. Mm-hmm. And it's like those that are in her field just feel grateful. I know I can speak for myself, but grateful to be in her presence.
Yeah, it's when I think of you, Natalie, I think I'm having a little moment of gratitude, and this is also an exercise you can do with the people you love in your life. Right. Caesar Milan?
Yes.
Right? So, Natalie, you are commiserative. You embody that commiserative energy, and it is powerful. Mm-hmm. It is powerful energy because in your presence, I'm held. Mm-hmm. In your presence, I'm seen, and I'm held, and there's this beautiful energy of space for me to be who I am. And I know that has come from years of you doing gratitude work, mm-hmm. years of you doing the mind movies, years of you being able to hold space for yourself, and in the process, you are holding incredible space for others. It's so funny, I see you standing there, kind of like when you were walking in the water the other day.
I'm on purpose, maybe. but like everything, gratitude's a choice.
Yes.
It's a choice. So, I choose to have a practice. I choose to do these things. And I choose to think about, well, how do I want to show up in the world from that place? I just saw an article, the HR boss at Google posted an article, and I just want to read what he said, because he says, spending 2 minutes a day being consciously, deliberately, and mindfully grateful is perhaps the secret to happiness and a longer life. He said, I couldn't think of a better lesson for Thanksgiving and for the holiday season. And gratitude creates a virtuous cycle. So the more you express it, the happier you are. And you're not stuck as a sad person or a happy person. You actually have a choice of how you want to show up. So I think that deliberately choosing a practice to do that is important. And I'm not just grateful for what I have, but I'm grateful for things that are coming.
Yes. Right.
Because when I can look at those future events and go, I'm so grateful that, this is showing up in my life. Even though it's not physically here right now, it means that I'm putting an energy of expectation around that future event, as if, that's a done deal. It's coming. I know it's coming. And it's in the right time, and it's divine timing and when it's supposed to.
Yeah, you're not in charge of it. You're not looking at the how. You're just like, it's coming. Grateful. It's happening. Yes, it's happening.
And that in turn changes your vibration. It changes all of those types of things as well. So,
there's something.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's one of the things that as I shared earlier. Hi, everyone. I sometimes focus on what's wrong and have to turn it from there.
Yeah.
So one of my gratitude practices is also thank you, God, that this problem is already solved.
Nice.
Thank you, God, that this problem is solved. So if any of you are having challenges right now, and the leap to gratitude feels like a big gap. Thank you, God, that this problem is already solved. Or if you don't like God, then source, divinity, whatever works for you.
Yeah, awesome. I was going to say for the parents out there, Frederick and I have always done a ritual at dinner. So it's like we, as a family, not every night because there's busy nights, but most nights we sit together as a family and we go, okay, what are we grateful for? So each of us goes through and we say one thing that we're grateful for. And sometimes if we're
That's
really
so
into it,
cool,
we love it. 'Cause
man.
it's teaching the kids,
Sure.
to really drop into that space of gratitude. And sometimes we'll say, okay, let's say one thing that we love about each person. So like Alex will go, I love that Maxim's funny. I love that Daddy wrestles with me. I love that Mommy hugs me. So one thing that we are grateful for, one thing that we love, because that the more you can stay in that field instead
Yes.
of just I'm grateful for Daddy, right? Then you go, I'm grateful for him because he plays with me. There's that why again,
It's
that
so
feeling
good.
sense. So
The why is a good thing.
Yeah, and with any gratitude practice that you have, it's not about just being grateful while you're doing the practice. We want to, have that emanate out and into your life and beyond that particular point.